Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously, but not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now.
So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subject custom chiede cose pepper conso felino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Wanna Bet. Just making sure we got this going on Twitter. Appreciate you guys tuning in as always. I'm Jason, that's Ben. We are Wanna Bet. We hope you want to bet, and we hope you want to bet with us. Let me see what happens if I turn that light on there. There we go. Maybe that helps a little. It's an ugly mug no matter what. We do this every day. We appreciate you guys tuning in. First, second, third down, the three favorite plays that Ben and I have made in that order. Third down, money down in the NFL. It's one of the downs we want to make money on this show. So we give you those plays. Fourth and long is really fourth and short. We continue to pound markets where we can get you paid early in a game. First quarter, first inning, first 3 innings, first 5 innings, first half of an NFL game. We try really hard to do really well in those markets. And you know what? We succeed. Over time, we continue to give you guys football bets that we have made. I'm on a lot. My week one betting, Beltway Ben, I don't know about you. My week one bet, like I don't know how many games I'm going to jump on in week one that I'm not already on. Maybe a player prop here or there, but I'm pretty much my positions are pretty much set week one because I don't think the value is going to be there for me moving forward. Hello?
Am I there? Am I back?
Yeah, I got you now. I
got kicked out. I got kicked out pretty early on too. So.
Oh, I was just saying. I was giving people the intro to the show. We've been pretty good with technical difficulties, but it is going to happen sometimes.
Yeah, we have.
I was telling people in overtime we're going to have more NFL plays, and like I don't know about you, but my positions for week one are pretty much locked in. Like I've made my bets. I've given out all my plays on the Super Discord. I mean, some lines might move in a way that it entices me, or I may find a prop here or there as we get closer to game time and we get the full panorama of the markets. But my NFL positions are pretty much set. I don't know about you, but I expect the value to be dwindling as we get closer to kickoff.
Yeah, I agree on the value and size. The only thing that in week one, it's not as much of an impact, but later in the season, like we're doing the show probably around noon. So we'll have inactives for the 1 p.m. games. So that might change a little bit, prop here or there. But again, I don't love running to bet, say DK Metcalf's out. I don't love running to bet Calvin Austin props because all of the public's going to do that. You lose some value and some juice there. So I don't think that I'm on like a ton more, but there will be a few props throughout the week that I get on. And then, like you said, today there is another NFL play that I'm on for Thursday.
Yeah, and we'll be sprinkling those in through the week. But it's going to be interesting when we do the show on Sundays because I have a feeling a lot of my Sunday plays are going to be for the following week because I work a week ahead. So I don't know. That's how it works for me, and it's working for the show. So I'm just saying. All right, Ben, how'd it go last night before we give the people our bets of the day? There we go. We continue to deliver for you guys in a big way every single day. Look, yesterday we were great in MLB with the plus money on my guy Andrew Abbott to shut down the Cardinals. It got a little shaky there. He put 2 on. Thank God Jordan Walker was coming up next when he did. And after that first inning, Abbott cruised for the 3 innings that we needed. Tennessee made me sweat a little bit at the end. Thank you for knocking that ball down. That game shouldn't even have been that close. Utah State, I told you I liked that quarterback. He was pretty good. Mendenhall had his guys ready to play. We also crushed it in the Super Discord. We had Maryland minus 13.5. That was over in the second quarter. And we're doing great in soccer markets as well. Beltway, Ben, any quick thoughts on last night?
Yeah, we finished down a little bit because Dabo Swinney and Clemson sucks. Did want to get to that real quick. Clemson, as anybody who watches this show knows, I've been pretty high on them all year. But we basically broke even because we also tailed the Utah State. Skylar Diggins finished with 12 points and 2 in the first quarter. We lose both of those. We cash Utah State. We cash Purdue. comes down to Clemson to be up or down, and Clemson up 7 at halftime. And I don't want to knock LSU because I've never believed in Brian Kelly,
Me
but they
neither.
impressed me last night. They impressed me last night
Yeah.
defensively. They
Defense.
impressed me last night with a lot of different things. I didn't understand. LSU sent Weeks on a blitz, I think, every play of the second half, and Clemson didn't have an answer for it from the start of the third quarter to the finish of the game, including their big drive when they went down the field. It was pathetic at home in a situation like that, in an environment where you struggled against the SEC in week one the past few years. You go out and fall on your face like that, just disgusting. And I don't feel good about that Clemson future, but they do have an easy schedule moving forward.
Yeah, they got look. Week one was really ugly across the. I mean, there was a lot of bad football. We forget that they're kids. We forget how little prep time they really get, and we forget at times how these rosters have been totally overhauled. So I wouldn't go crazy extrapolating out of week one. And look, if you want all our plays, that QR code is a super Discord. Like, I didn't give it out here. I should have. Like, Everton, to beat the Wolves plus 170. We cashed that in real life. We cashed that on the Super Discord. All of our plays on the Super Discord as we make them. All right, Beltway Ben, let's get it started. First down.
Yeah, first down. We are going to an under today. And today's one of two today games. And I have the under in the South Carolina versus Virginia Tech game. Brent Pry takes over, defensive-minded coach, and since he's taken over there, past 3 years, their opponents are averaging 23.5 points scored against them. And their offenses haven't been great at Virginia Tech. And a lot of those games, the higher scoring games, are more of their conference games. But out of conference here, I do think they're going to go out. They're playing a guy in Beamer who we know his father coached at Virginia Tech, but this game will be at South Carolina. I do think it'll be a little ugly early on. Well, it's not at South Carolina. It's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So it's a neutral site game. He's not going back to his old spot. But I do think everybody's pointing to Sellers, and everybody's giving them a ton of attention. Sellers is awesome. He's going to be a Heisman candidate, but that defense has improved year and year and year. And last year, the defense showed really well. I just talked about Sellers. Like, he was awesome. The offense was good. But South Carolina's defense improved a ton last year to put them where they are. And that's another big reason their expectations are so high heading into this season. So I like both teams to show up defensively in a neutral site environment. And I like the under 51.5 here.
First down for me. We didn't talk too much Quinny P yesterday with my Brew Crew. I did sing it for you, and I got to sing it again because you know what? He cashed for us again. The Brewers cashed for us again. Our Super Discord subscribers got that cash again. Brew Crew were getting plus 122 on the money line yesterday with Quinny P. Quinny P. Quinny P. You always cash for me with Quinn Priester on the mound. And how'd that go? 16 straight wins. 16 straight wins for the Brew Crew when Priester's on the mound. It's Woodruff today. He's pretty damn good as well. I know that a lot of people want to pick on my Brewers and say they're the Fugazi team. I got a little proposition for you, Beltway Ben. You want to know who the real fake first place team is?
The Brewers are fake too, but keep going.
Okay, well, the Brewers are going to have 90 wins by the end of the month. But
that's fine. You were just concerned about it 2 days ago. Keep going, though.
Okay. It's the Toronto Blue Jays.
Let's not switch up because they beat another Fugazi team.
Yeah, I made money on them again yesterday, and let's hope that happens.
You can do that. Both of them are fraudulent.
Toronto.
2 days ago. Don't change now.
Toronto. No, because I know how to bet them. I know when to bet the first 5, and I know when to bet the full game.
Said the other day you were a little concerned about them. Okay, keep going.
I'm not as concerned about them as the people up north in the wonderful country of Canada.
They're frauds too. Yeah.
That's the fraud team. They've got the fraud skipper. They've got an even more flawed bullpen. I don't know about their stars showing up when it really, really matters and the pressure's on, because the last 3 years, that hasn't been the case. And I know Toronto's the best home team in baseball, but my Brew Crew are the best road team in baseball. So we got Woodruff on the mound. We're getting plus money. Milwaukee, 44-24 on the road. Best in MLB. Milwaukee, look, run line's not a bad way to go, right? They're 19-4 their last 23 on the run line on the road. 18-5 straight up last 23 on the road. When the chips get down for the Brew Crew, when guys get hurt, when dudes get scratched, when people start calling them frauds, seems to me that's when their baseball culture shows up and they find ways to win games, like they're shoving it down the Blue Jays' throats right now. Scherzer's been pretty good for Toronto, sure, but all of a sudden Toronto's 5-7 in their last 12, and I'm not sure that place is a fortress, and they don't have a closer, And like, I guess they've got one setup guy. They've got some issues if Scherzer can't go long in this one. So give me the Brew Crew to finish that sweep and continue dominating on the road. Second down, Beltway Ben.
Second down, we are going to stick to college football. I'm going to go with Miami, the U on the money line at plus 130. I really like this here tonight. I've liked it all week, and I wanted to give it out early, decided not to, and waited. And we actually ended up getting some value here. It was like plus 120 when I was going to give it out. Now we get it at plus 130 here. Carson Beck replaces Cam Ward. He's not Cam Ward, but he has won a number of big games in these types of environments, in these types of situations. And Miami still has one of the best offensive lines in the country. They're still there. They're still legitimate. And then you look at Notre Dame. CJ Carr makes his first career college start. So you're going to put him up against a Miami defense. And Miami's secondary last year wasn't great. They had some struggles. They bring in a ton of different transfers, ton of new guys who, on paper, this looks like a better team. We'll see how it looks on the field, but their pass rush is still dominant. And the one thing in this game that gives Miami any scare is the rushing attack for Notre Dame. But I am confident Miami will adjust and make them beat them with their arm, right? CJ Carr, his first career college game, you have to make that kid beat you. And then on the other side, I trust what Miami has in the run game. I trust Carson Beck enough. I'm not a huge Carson Beck guy, but I trust him enough to get the job done in this type of game because he's done it in the SEC. So now you're giving him a Notre Dame team, which last year their run was awesome. We were all over Notre Dame last year. If you followed me, I was on them to beat Penn State. I was on them to make the playoff after they lost to Northern Illinois. But now I don't really buy what they have. I think the defense is going to be good. I think their two-headed rushing attack is going to be solid. I don't think Carr is enough to win these types of games. So I am going with Miami on the money line.
Excellent. First down for me is football, not football, although I will tell you, we're on Wolfsburg. That game's about to go to the half. If you're interested in live betting, I didn't love what I saw in the first half of Wolfsburg, but I still think they deliver us a result. And we're also on Arsenal Liverpool over 2.5 total goals from earlier in the week. We're going NFL here. We're going Pittsburgh Steelers. And look, I got this when it opened at minus 118. We, unlike almost everybody in this industry, Ben and I don't work for sports books. We try to take money from sports books with our bets, but we don't get handouts from sports books to push you guys bets that they know have little to no chance of cashing. We're not in that sham. We are with you. We are part of your team. We hope you're part of our team. And so, again, we're not here to sell you bullshit. I'm not going to tell you where you can get this, but you can still find a book or two where you can get this at a better value than minus 150. I don't think it's going to be there much longer. Again, I've got this at minus 118. I'm on this position as part of a parlay around minus 122. And I suspect this is more like minus 170 and worse the closer we get to kickoff. Why do I like Pittsburgh? Well, they beat the Jets last year 37-15. Now they have the Jets quarterback on their side who stunk last year for the most part, but did throw 18 touchdowns to 4 picks in his final 10 games. Mike Tomlin knows Justin Fields inside and out. He knows his psyche. He knows what makes him tick. He knows his tendencies. Fields is probably going to try to do a little too much in his Jets debut. Aaron Glenn's first game as a head coach. Good luck with that. Mike Tomlin, what happens when he goes on the road? He's 14-7 against the spread, his last 21 on the road. And we don't even need him to cover the 2.5 or the 3 here. We just need him to win the game. Mike Tomlin, outside the AFC North, last 14 games, 10-4 against the spread. We don't even need him to cover. We just need him to win the game. Jets traditionally suck in September. 6-20 straight up in the month of September since 2017. And now it's a new quarterback. And now it's a rookie head coach. And that quarterback didn't exactly light the world on fire in the preseason. Those Jets losses in September since 2017 are by an average of 7.6 points per game. Their offense has mustered 15 points a game in those 26 September showings, and I'm not sure they're going to do much against the Pittsburgh defense. So let's get this while the value's still there. You're going to hear me back in Mike Tomlin on the road quite a bit this year, and probably unders as well. Third down, Beltway Ben.
Yeah, actually on that play, if anybody remembers, I am on it. This was a few weeks ago, though, but I took it thinking, that the value won't be, I think I've got it at minus 158, somewhere around there, thinking the value is going to shoot up. Well, Jason got it at a better number than I did. Again, though, that's this business, right? Sometimes you're going to take that risk where you get it early and you take that risk there. It goes down a little bit. It moves that a little bit out of your way. Still love it. Still think the Steelers do win in week 1. But My third down play. This is next Saturday. Next Saturday, we have Oklahoma moneyline minus 166. And I did this the other day with TCU. In college football, whether it's parlays, parlaying a few teams together to get fair odds, or just taking a team that's pretty big favorite, I will do it because I'm willing to pay that juice when I know what I see. And you look at Michigan. I didn't. That was not good yesterday. I wasn't impressed. And under
The
what I
Big
get
Ten across the board, outside of Ohio State, who won with defense, I wasn't impressed. Okay, Maryland, but like Indiana, no. Wisconsin bounced back. Good effing luck with that. Like, good luck with that. Like, none of them really impressed me. Sparty,
Right. No, yeah, fully agree. And then you're facing an Oklahoma team who, again, they're not playing anybody, but they did look good. And they looked like a different team when you take Jackson Arnold and put him in Auburn. He made some plays Friday night and hurt us in that Baylor game. But, like, John Mateer can throw the football and was getting all the weapons involved and looked so great. And then you have a Michigan team, and their defense looked fine, but even they fell apart a little bit down the stretch. So I do think Oklahoma, with their experience, they're an older team facing a Michigan team who has a lot of different new pieces. And my one question with Oklahoma, like Jaden Ott is a guy that I expected a lot from this year. If anybody knows, we are on their home wins over. But like Jaden Ott didn't play much at all yesterday, and then he gets one carry late in the game for -3 yards, and it didn't make sense. I think he's going to play next week a little bit more. So you put him in that backfield, it's even more deadly than what they are this past week. I do think they're just a better team than Michigan overall. We know that defense under Venables is going to be amazing. The offense finally looks like they have something with him as the coach. Like, he always can get that defense playing fine. Last year, we saw them embarrass Alabama in Norman. This game's in Norman now. You're facing a Michigan team that's not very good, and you finally have an offense. It's early. Jason mentioned it earlier. You shouldn't overreact too much to week one in college football when you have guys who are 18 to 22 years old. But Oklahoma, I am like pretty quickly buying what they have rolling.
Yeah. I had trouble finding a lot of populated college lines.
It's about 6 of them.
Looking ahead, I couldn't find many.
There's like 6, and you have to. They'll go away and they'll come back for a few hours and they'll go. It's weird because I wanted to get this at 2.5 to give it out and just give it out 2.5.
Yeah,
they take it away at the end of the night, and the Michigan game was already over. They take it away and it comes back. It's 4.5. I'm like.
I was looking all over last night trying to find because again, I like to work ahead, and I had trouble. Yeah, I had trouble getting inventory. By Tuesday, I'm sure we'll be ready to rock and roll. And like you, I will be on a lot of these early, and I want to do a little more work on that game, but I'll probably follow you. Third down, again, we're looking value. This Tampa Bay Atlanta opener is 2.5 everywhere, except there is a -1.5, -115 out there. Just Google best odds. Bucks, Buccaneers, Falcons. There are many different websites that will give you snapshots of where these lines are across a lot of books. This is a big book. It's not hard to find. There's one that still has this out there. Look, Atlanta's defense has sucked forever. Like, I like Raheem Morris as a defensive coordinator. I don't know about a head coach, but they were 31st in sacks, 31st on third down, 29th in the red zone, and 30th in missed tackle percentage. Beltway Ben, I don't know did they get much better? Am I missing something with the Atlanta Falcons offseason?
No.
Like, did they go hog wild to upgrade a front seven that's been horse shit forever? Like, did they get Micah Parsons, or did he go to Green Bay? Yeah. So anyway, there's that. Baker Mayfield has had issues at times against Carolina and Atlanta in this division. He still has issues with Carolina. But the last time he faced Atlanta, he threw for 330 with 3 touchdowns. I think he's going to pick up where he's left off. Mike Evans' availability is a big deal for the Bucs. The Bucs have won 7 of the last 9 against Atlanta when Evans plays. They've won 4 of the last 5 against Atlanta overall. Atlanta at home within the division, 6-9, their last 15 against the spread. Last year at home, the Falcons allowed 99 points in 3 games against division opponents. I like Todd Bowles having his team in position defensively to give Penix some issues. I'm bullish on Penix, but I don't think he's going to pick up like where, say, go watch what Kirk Cousins did on a Thursday night early last year against Tampa to beat them 36-30. I don't know that Penix is there week one, his first week one home start. I like Tampa being on the road here. I think they win this game by at least a field goal, and I want you to jump that 1.5 while it's still there. Fourth and short, Beltway Ben.
Yeah, real quick on that. I will show choppy here. And it's like I want to bet that game in general. It's the Bucks because like I don't understand why the number is the way it is. I guess it's the road week 1, but I might get on it regularly within the week. But I'm like I just keep looking at it like it doesn't make sense to why the Bucks aren't a bigger favorite. But
Another play
here-
there, if you want it, if you want a safe, like nothing safe. I take that out of my vocab. There is nothing safe about what we're doing here. It's gambling. It's always a gamble. There is nothing safe. Your money is always at risk. Again, we don't work for the books, unlike every jackass out there. Money line, Baker over 1.5 touchdowns is another way that I've played that game. And you can get plus money.
yeah,
Bucks
I like
money
that a lot.
line, Baker over 1.5 passing touchdowns.
If they win that game, I don't know how he doesn't clear that number. But I am going with Kiki Irafin over 3.5 first quarter points. She's over this in 5 of her last 6. It's minus 140. There's a little bit of juice, but again, I'm willing to pay that when you look at the history. And then you have a Sparks team who are allowing 24 points per game in the first quarter. Now, we probably cashed our first 10 of our first 11 of these, and we've lost 2 in a row. So keep that in mind, but I am confident she goes over this against a bad Sparks defense, who, as I said, they're allowing 24 points per game in the first quarter, second most in the WNBA. I like what she does, and works inside. She'll play 7 to 8 minutes. I like her over the 3.5 first quarter points.
2 Nerfies I like, Beltway Ben. We haven't been going crazy with these lately, but our hit rate has been great. I'm playing them individually, and I've parlayed them. Let's start with this Brewers-Toronto matchup. As I've been telling you guys all season long, the Brew Crew are a heavy Nerfy team. 78-60 to the Nerfy. They've Nerfied in 8 of their last 11. Woodruff on the mound, he's been great. 2.42 on the road. First inning, he has an ERA of 2. League batting 206 against him in the first inning. He's a bulldog. He comes out ready to go. I do think this is a little bit of a playoff atmosphere. One of the best teams in the AL, the best team in the NL, who's also the best team in baseball. And look, Milwaukee doesn't usually come out of the gates scoring a lot of runs, as evidenced by their Nerfy tendencies. And Scherzer has not allowed a first inning run for the Blue Jays in 9 of his last 10 outings. He was whacked around early his first 2 starts. He settled down. And this is a spot where, like, he's got to have the bulldog mentality. Toronto's just lost 2 in a row, and people like me think they're a little fugazi. The other matchup, look, you're going to get me to Nerfy this every time, right? We got 2 teams that are top 7 Nerfy teams in baseball. So we got the Tigers, 76 and 61 of the Nerfy, 7th highest Nerfy percentage. We got a KC team who we've been riding Nerfies on all year, 78 and 58 to the Nerfy, 40 and 28 to the Nerfy at home. Michael Wacha has pitched 13 times at home this season, Beltway Ben. Care to guess how many runs he's allowed in the first inning in those 13 starts at home?
I'm going to guess 2.
Give you a hint.
0.
Give you a hint. None.
0.
Michael Wacha at home, 2-0. The league against Michael Wacha at home in the first inning this season, 200, 217, 222, Beltway Ben. That's a 439 OPS. How about Tarek Skubal on the road? 12 starts on the road. He's allowed 1 run in the first inning this season. 0.75 ERA. The league against Skubal in the first inning on the road, 143, 163, 262. That's a 425 OPS. It's better than Wacha's in the first inning at home. You parlay these 2 together, we get the 176. That's where we are. Overtime, we want to give you guys more football bets that we are placing. A lot of times, again, well ahead of time. Where are you taking us in OT, man?
Pretty simple one here. I'm going with just a same game parlay here. We can get a minus 146. And again, it's a situation where Thursday night, I don't think this will be here at minus 146. If you parlay them, probably in the 170s, I'd guess my kick. But the Eagles are the money line and Dak Prescott to throw for 200 plus yards. Now, they're not together, right? Oh, some people might think, Dak.
Oh, no, they are.
Plus.
They're totally
right. Yeah, no. I'm going to get to that. But you might think, I don't want to be rooting for Dak to throw for a ton of yards while I'm rooting for the Eagles to win. Dak is going to be throwing the football because Javonte Williams he's not the guy, right? They don't have a Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley type back. Right. I'm not with that defensive line. Dak is going to be chucking the ball all across the field, especially. And Jason's mentioned it multiple times. He's on their spread twice. He's on a bunch of different things. There's a good chance the Eagles get out to a massive lead in this game, and the Cowboys are playing from behind from the second quarter on, from a large come from behind type of thing. So I do think Dak's going to have to throw the football, and you didn't add George Pickens in the offseason to try to watch Javonte Williams get 2 yards per carry and hope that works. So I do think the Eagles dominate. Not worried about that. But it's Dak 200-plus passing yards, and in every matchup that he's had with Vic Fangio and their defenses, they've lost. He has not been good against Vic Fangio defenses, but he's thrown for 200-plus passing yards in every matchup against the Vic Fangio defense.
Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, I'm on that. Let's just say I'm leveraged on that football game. OT for me, we are going to play a Ravens player prop that I don't think is going to be out there at this value for long. All right. Don't bet Lamar Jackson rushing totals willy-nilly all over the place. He tends to run more late in the year than early in the year in general. But when I look at Lamar Jackson rushing attempts, what I'm drilling down on is who's he playing, where's the game being played, what's at stake. When he faces teams that made the playoffs the year before or are projected to make the playoffs this year, he tends to run more. When he does that in prime time, he tends to run the most. And when he's on the road and the crowd's loud and you can't hear checks and audibles, he's more inclined to just tote the rock himself. So you can still find this at a book at 46.5. If this isn't at 50 by kickoff everywhere, I'll be shocked. Lamar Jackson in prime time, just filter for that. He runs for 64 yards a game. Lamar Jackson's last 20 games against teams that made the playoffs the year before, he's over this in 16 of them. Okay, in just 4 of those games did he not run for at least 46 yards. He averages, when he faces a team that made the playoffs the year before, he averages 9 carries for 61 yards. What did he do against Buffalo last year? 6 for 54 and then 6 for 39. I think he's going to run for more than 6 here. In the game in Baltimore in the regular season, the Ravens ran all over him in the first half, any which way they wanted to. And then the game got so out of hand that Lamar didn't really even have to play the second half. But I don't think that's going to be the case regular season on the road against Buffalo. I think the multiplicity of the Ravens run game is going to be a problem for the Bills defense. And then Derrick Henry, I mean, he started 19 games with the Ravens, Beltway Ben. He's got a rushing touchdown in 14 of them. He has 19. He has 19 total rushing touchdowns in 19 games started for Baltimore. And as I mentioned in the regular season, when the Ravens rode the run game more against Buffalo and when they got to play from ahead versus behind, chasing the game in the playoffs, they couldn't stop Derrick Henry. Minus 150 for Derrick Henry anytime touchdown. If that's not minus 175 to minus 200 by Saturday, I'll eat my shoe. Like that became a minus 200, minus 225 type proposition as we move through last season. So that's where we are. That's what we've done. We're off to a great start in college football, killing it in soccer. I had a couple days where I couldn't hit an MLB bet after destroying it all August long. Guess what? We're back in MLB, and no one's going to give you guys smarter NFL plays ahead of the curve when you can get the value than us. It's what we do. You want to bet with us. We want to bet with you, and we will be back with Wanna Bet again tomorrow.